a couple days after I took the class, I was outside of the gate of our reminiscence community. We have a gate on the outside, and my office is on the other side, across kind of a little driveway from the gate. And sometimes some of the residents who want to go somewhere come to the gate, and they're looking for a way to get out. And it's something that always, tugs at my heartstrings, because I feel like, so I go over there. And there was a woman named Roberta who was actually banging on the gate. And I came out of my office and went across and opened the gate and stepped inside. And I said, hi. And she immediately said, I need to get to my father's store with some urgency, I need to get to my father's store. And, in the time before I had taken the course, I was in a similar dilemma with a situation like that as a lot of people experience of trying to decide, okay, do you tell them the truth, which is one of the older techniques. This, your father's store doesn't exist anymore or something, that's cruel. Do you lie, which seems to be the other, the other extreme on that continuum, and say, oh, we'll go to his store is closed. One of the strong ideas that was expressed in the class is that even if a resident doesn't cognitively know that you're not telling the truth, on some level, on an emotional level, they know, and it'll make a difference, and it'll erode the trust that's possible in the relationship. They might not in that moment cognitively know that that the father's store doesn't exist, but on some level they know. And if you pretend like it does still exist, if you basically lie to them to get out of the situation, then that's going to have an impact on the relationship. And it's also not treating them with dignity. So what I did instead was kind of tried out the validation therapy technique, which was to engage the resident in the subject and in the emotional content of what they were bringing to the interaction. The idea behind that is that Roberta's talking about her father's store because there's a need there, because she needs to talk about that. So the response that I gave was, well, tell me about your father's store. And she said, oh, my father used to have a general store, and when I was a little girl, I'd go and help him in the store. And I said, what was your father like? Oh, he was wonderful. That takes it even a step closer to, she's needing to talk about her father and whatever that means to her. And by engaging her on that, it gives her a chance to meet her needs and meet it in the context of a relationship. So she starts talking about how wonderful her father was. And I say, where did you live? In Ohio or something like that, Iowa. And then back to her father, she goes back to, well, I have to get to his store. And then I thought, well, maybe she's got some pictures of her father in her room. So I said, you've got a room right over here. And there are probably some pictures of your father. Would you be able to show them to me? And, I start kind of walking with her. And then this is the moment of connection. She turns to me and she says something like, thank you so much for spending time with me. And in that moment, I feel like, okay, we've made a connection. And, what the need that she was expressing is being met by me being there with her and by her being able to talk about her father and remember her father with someone. So, it was just a wonderful experience that, for me, validated the things that I'd learned and was so encouraging in terms of wanting to experiment more with the principles of validation therapy.